You know that feeling like you're somehow living a life completely designed by someone else? Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to dive into a really quiet, almost invisible phenomenon called the silent erasure. It's this deeply intimate transformation that happens so incredibly slowly, you probably don't even realize it's happening to you. So let's unpack exactly how this works, and more importantly, how we can actually reverse it. To really wrap our heads around this, I want you to picture a super relatable everyday scene. Imagine a woman standing right in front of her open wardrobe. The closet is literally packed with clothes. She's got plenty of options. But she is standing there completely paralyzed, just staring and asking herself one simple question: what should I wear? Now, what's fascinating here is that this isn't about lacking fashion sense. Not at all. It's about the fact that her own preferences, her own internal compass for what she actually likes, have just vanished. As she reaches for an outfit, a voice suddenly pops into her head. But, and here's the catch, it's not her own voice. It's the remembered voice of her mother saying, "That dress is a bit too tight." In an absolute instant, her own thought process is totally drowned out by this intrusive, remembered criticism. She second-guesses herself, and her hand pulls back. But oh, it doesn't stop there. Let's add the next layer of this mental noise. As she considers another option, she suddenly hears her husband's opinion echoing in her mind. "I don't like that dress." This just makes the confusion 10 times worse. Every single item of clothing is now being judged by this invisible jury living inside her head. And just to complete this overwhelming mental cacophony, a colleague's voice chimes in, "Don't wear something that bold to the office." She stands there for what feels like forever. A ridiculously simple question, "What should I wear?" has become this impossible puzzle. And when she finally pauses to ask herself, "Wait, what do I actually like?" the terrifying truth is, she has absolutely no answer. She is entirely disconnected from what she wants. If this scenario feels even slightly familiar to you, stick with me, because what we're discussing next is absolutely crucial. That wardrobe moment perfectly illustrates our core concept today. The source material refers to this in Hindi as khud ko kho dena, which directly translates to losing oneself. The really important thing to grasp here is that this isn't some sudden, dramatic tragedy that hits you all at once. No, it is the most silent, dangerous transformation a person can go through purely because it happens so slowly. It's this invisible erosion of identity that comes from making tiny, daily adjustments that feel totally normal at the time. Honestly, nobody even notices them happening. Let's look at how this actually builds up over a lifetime. When a girl is young, her choices are usually crystal clear, right? She knows her favorite color, her favorite food, exactly what makes her happy. But as she moves into adolescence, every time her choice displeases someone, she internalizes a tiny lesson. Okay, other people's preferences matter more than mine. She hears things like, "Don't laugh loud, what will people say?" Or "Don't take that subject, there's no future in it." Each comment seems totally harmless on its own, but over the years, they act like a giant eraser on her identity. By the time she reaches adulthood, she's in a group chat trying to decide where to eat, and instead of having an opinion, her deeply ingrained automatic response is just, anything works. She's disappeared so completely that decisions are just made without her, and no one, not even her, realizes she's gone. Okay, so how do you know if this has happened to you? The source outlines 3 really subtle symptoms. Take a mental tally as we go through these. Sign number 1, confusion when asked your preference. When someone asks what you like, there's no excitement, just a blank, empty pause because you literally don't know the answer. Sign number 2, filtering every choice through others' opinions. Instead of asking, "Will this make me happy?" your very first instinct is, "What will people think?" And sign number 3, discomfort being alone with your own thoughts. Sitting in your own company feels incredibly awkward. Why? Because your identity has been defined by others for so long, you genuinely don't know who you are when they aren't around. Now listen, if you're recognizing these signs in yourself right now, please don't panic. This isn't a dead end, it's a signal. To show you how this can turn around, let's get into the emotional core of this explainer. The source shares this incredibly powerful real-life story of a woman who had essentially molded her entire existence around what everyone else expected of her. She studied the subjects her family pushed her toward. She took the job that was considered safe. After getting married, she actually stopped cooking her own favorite meals because her husband preferred different food. She dropped all her hobbies because she started believing they were just a waste of time. And then came the wake-up call. One day, her 6-year-old daughter asked her this super simple, innocent question. "Mama, what do you like?" The mother tried to put on a brave face and answer, but inside, she felt this crushing emptiness. She couldn't even remember the last time she'd asked herself that question. The emotional weight of that realization was so heavy that she actually had to walk out of the room. She hid her face, went into the bathroom, and just cried. And it wasn't out of anger at her husband or family. It was just this profound, quiet realization of, oh my gosh, I don't know who I am. But here is the uplifting twist, and honestly, what makes this source material a total game changer. Reclaiming your identity absolutely does not require massive, dramatic life explosions. Finding yourself again isn't about suddenly quitting your job or ending your marriage. That's a huge misconception. True reclamation actually happens through micro choices. It's about listening to a favorite song without feeling ashamed, or simply picking a color you like without looking for someone else to validate it. You basically rebuild your identity the exact same way it was erased, piece by tiny piece. So what did this mother actually do? She started a really simple, low-pressure experiment, a 5-minute nightly habit. Step 1, take a piece of paper. Step 2, ask yourself, what did I like today? Step 3, write it down without any judgment whatsoever. The source notes that for the entire first week, her pen would literally just stop. That old habit of wondering what people would think kept blocking her. But slowly, eventually, these tiny joys started showing up on the paper. I liked my morning cup of tea today. I heard a song that made my heart happy. I felt like painting a little today. And this brilliantly shows the power of those micro choices. Because just 1 month later, something really beautiful happened. She put on her favorite song, out loud, just for herself, for absolutely no reason at all. Her daughter looked up and asked, "What's this, Mama?" And for the first time in years, the mother actually smiled and said, "This is Mama's favorite song." For the daughter, it was just a normal Tuesday, but for that mother, it was a massive, triumphant first step back to her true identity. So how can we apply this in our own lives? The source gives us 3 highly actionable steps to start reclaiming you tonight. First, write 1 line nightly about what you genuinely liked that day, purely for yourself. Second, make 1 choice this week, whether it's about clothes, food, or music, based solely on what you want, without asking anyone else what they think. And third, and honestly this is critical, when someone asks what you want, stop automatically defaulting to "I don't know" or "anything works." Stop doing that. Pause. Actually take a second to think and find your real answer, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. Let's bring this whole thing full circle back to the woman standing at her wardrobe. If you are that person right now, freezing in front of your closet, or constantly seeking approval for the tiniest choices, I really want you to hear this. You are not lost. You have just spent so many years living through the preferences of others that you simply forgot how to find yourself. Your identity is still right there. It's waiting patiently to be rebuilt, one small, joyful choice at a time. Which brings us to our final lingering thought for today. Ask yourself right now, what do you like? Really think about it. If this explainer resonated with you, or if it made you think of someone who has kind of forgotten their own preferences, pass this along to them. I highly encourage you to save this explainer, start that nightly habit, and embark on a 30-day journey of self-discovery. Come back in a month and see what's changed. Because you didn't lose yourself in a single day. And while you won't find yourself in a single day either, if you start with the smallest of choices, you absolutely will find your way back.